Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Good evening. Welcome back again, second stream of the day, because we've got some interesting breaking-ish news. Tesla has updated the website for their 7,500 federal tax credit guidance for the Tesla Model 3. And I guess now they're just being a little bit more transparent, or maybe even painting a different story. But if we're going to believe Tesla, then if you're in this segment of buying group, which we'll talk about, this people that are in this income bracket, then it really probably makes no difference unless we'll talk about some of the pros and cons on it. But before we get into that, let's roll that intro really quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, where you can support the channel and get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there with all the best interest rates for financing your Tesla. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description. So let's unpack this. This is a post I just made. Tesla just adds new guidance for the 7,500 federal tax credit for Tesla Model 3. And this is the Model 3 only. We'll show you exactly what has changed, but really nothing has changed for the Model Y. So that might give you a good indication on maybe the Tesla Model Y might be a better buy in the near future. And when I mean near future, I mean next year. So quote, 7,500 tax credit is expected to reduce to $3,750 on December 31st, pending federal guidance. So this is similar to what the message on the website said before, but it used to just said reductions, quote, reductions are likely. It didn't say what type of reductions. One could only assume that it was going to go from 7,500 to 3,750 or 3,750, or maybe even zero. If you don't know what is going on and how this actually works, if you take a look at all the electric vehicles that are eligible for the federal tax credit, you'll actually notice that some vehicles don't actually qualify for the full 7,500. This is due to battery minerals. This is due to the production of it. Here is the actual bill on or a paragraph on it on how it actually breaks down. You can see right here, minimum percentage of battery components produced in or manufactured in North America, 50% for the 2023 year. Taking a look at it, minimum percentage of critical minerals extracted, possess, or process or recycle in nations with free trade agreement, that's 40%. And if you notice, you'll notice that for 2024, both of these metrics go up 10% in terms of the minimum percentage of both of those metrics. So that's why for a while Tesla was posting on their website that reductions were likely. In fact, if you go to the Tesla Model Y section, you'll see what the message was before on the Model 3 page. So if you see here, taking a look at it, 7,500 federal tax credit, all new Model Y vehicles currently qualify for the federal tax credit for eligible buyers. Take delivery by December 31st for a full 7,500 federal tax credit. So no change here, no kind of worried statement of it reducing. But if you take a look at Model 3, it does say something different. It used to say it was quote unquote expected to reduce, but now it does say expected to reduce to 3,750 for the new year. So you might be wondering, I mean, is this better? Is it worse? Well, obviously it's a less tax credit from it, but in 2024, this 7,500 federal tax credit does become a point of sale discount. So taxpayers and buyers are supposed to be able to elect to have the tax credit transferred to the purchase, and you should get a straight line item discount at the point of sale. So some would say that this $3,750 discount at point of sale could be more impactful because it's less financing, less interest, and potentially less down payment as well, and also easier to probably get approved for of the loan as well because it's a lower financed amount. But typically now, if you're someone that doesn't make enough tax liability to get that full 7,500 federal tax rate, then you're kind of stuck anyways, especially if you're looking at a Model 3. If you make like $50,000, your tax liability is around like $4,000, give or take. Of course, definitely consult a CPA or just take a look at your paychecks or last year's tax return to see how much that actually is. So even if you bought right now, you wouldn't get the full 7,500. So that's why I have been recommending people that are in that threshold, under that tax liability threshold, under that income limit, you might as well wait, because next year you get the full discount. You also get a 2024 Tesla Model 3. Of course, there's no changes to features that we know yet, but it probably might be a better deal unless you absolutely need a car at the moment. But jumping to the Model Y side, we see no wording of any sort of reduction at all. So this does make us wonder, is the Model Y going to get the full 7,500 federal tax credit next year? And on top of that, if it is it going to be a full 7,500 point of sale discount, which will certainly have a lot of effects or impacts, because that's a lot less financed. I mean, taking a look at it now, 43,990 minus the 7,500, that's $36,000 financed. Of course, with taxes and fees and all that stuff, that could certainly make a big impact. But a lot of people like to say that, even if people get this 7,500 or $3,750 discount at point of sale, then Tesla might just go ahead and turn around and raise the price. I mean, that certainly is a big risk. That's why I would say, if you want to lock in prices, we could play this strategy game like December 31st, the day of, where they can't make you take a delivery that same day. Place a deposit in, lock in the pricing so that you're go ahead and good to go. But if you're looking to purchase a vehicle now, don't forget to use our Tesla referral code down below in the description for $250 off plus 3 months of full self-driving. If you're looking to find the best discounts now for the vehicle, then that's where you can head on over to Waiting for Tesla, where you can see all the inventory discounts. We talked about this earlier today, that Tesla has piped in a lot more inventory discounts, anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 off. And so the demo deals, the discounts are back into play, which pretty interesting, because it's only October 11th, so we've got a good amount of time left in the month. But Aaron, I've been watching you for a while. Your greatest strength is the timeliness of information. Thank you, Aaron. Thanks for the support on that for sure. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff with how this at the end of the day, this also could be a story that Tesla is posting onto their website, right? This could be them trying to get people to buy the Model 3 now in its current form, because it gets a 7,500 federal tax credit. But at the same time, Tesla knows that most people, or Tesla buyers, are more intelligent. They know that this tax credit becomes point of sale next year. So it's kind of this catch-22, especially for people or buyers in an income threshold that doesn't get to take advantage of the full 7,500 federal tax liability. If you're someone above that, if you make above like $75,000 W-2 income, but of course lower than $150,000 single W-2 income, then of course, it probably makes a lot more sense to just buy right now. Take advantage of the 7,500 federal tax rate, because you'll get that 7,500 when you file for your taxes before April of next year. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. We're going to jump into the live stream comments. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon link or support the channel. So definitely check it out if you are interested. But thanks for coming in, everybody. Thanks for supporting our second stream of the day. Happy Wednesday. Howard, strange that Model Y and Model 3 should have the same battery currently, correct? Except for the LFP Model 3 wheel drive. Yeah, good point. Who knows exactly on where or each of them are manufactured, but there was some loophole that I think Tesla was able to work around to get this, get the Model Y to work out. And earlier this year, if I remember correctly, the rear-wheel drive Model 3 did not qualify for the full 7,500. The long range and performance did, and then somehow they got the standard range to also qualify through some sort of loophole, if I remember correctly. Vinay, well, this $3,750 reduction tax credit will apply to the Model Y too. It doesn't seem like Tesla is going with that story just yet. It still says $7,500 federal tax credit by the end of this year. I mean, who knows? Tesla could add that to the website in the near future. Mike, thanks for coming in. Welcome back. Haven't seen you in a bit. I feel like I got lucky. Got a Model 3 white on white with 36960. Interest rates were much lower than they are now. And a week later, they made the gray a no cost color. Yeah, definitely. You hit the jackpot for sure in terms of timing. Mark, thanks for coming in. Can I get a used Tesla for around $400 a month in Ontario? Don't know Ontario interest rates, but in terms of a used Tesla for $400 a month, that seems like you have to finance a vehicle that's like $20,000. So that could be tough. Mike got it on the last day of quarter two, ordered at noon, picked up 7 hours later. They wanted to get me in the car before the days ended. Yeah, Tesla gets very aggressive. They want you to take delivery ASAP at the month end for the quarters. In this next topic, Tesla has now updated the website on top of that and added new leases for the Model 3 and the Model Y. Both of these under $400. So let's take a look at it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. Shout out to Zach. He posted this. Tesla just launched crazy lease deals for the Model 3 and Model Y. Model 3 rear-wheel drive, which of course is the cheapest, most inexpensive, is $329 a month. Model Y rear-wheel drive is $399 a month. Of course, the Model Y rear-wheel drive is a newer Model Y, the cheapest one that was just introduced. It's also got, it's the slowest Model Y or slowest Tesla that is out there, like 0 to 60 in like 6.6 seconds. Also has limited range as well. These are both 36-month leases with $4,500 down. Awesome deal. And of course, you can use a Tesla referral code to make the deal even awesomer. If you want to, you can use Zach's or you can use ours, like the one down below in the description, to get an extra $250 off to save on that down payment. Now, of course, you can play around with these leases. You can take a look at it yourself. Of course, a quick tip, if you live in New Jersey, you probably already know as well, it's probably the best state to lease a Tesla vehicle because I believe you don't pay any sort of taxes on it. And you also get like an incentive to lease the vehicle as well. But taking a look at here, Model 3 in its cheapest form with a $4,500 down payment. Of course, Tesla wants at least 10% down, gives you $325 a month. And we've actually seen this before in the past. And to give you some perspective, Tesla leases for the Model 3, I believe at one point, if my memory served me correctly, was as low as $299 a month. So certainly I've seen lower lease payments, and unfortunately Tesla doesn't show too much of more details. We used to be able to see like the interest rate that was on these leases, but they've kind of hidden all of that. But of course, when you lease a vehicle, you as a owner do not get the $7,500 federal tax credit, but Tesla, to the financing company or even Tesla Financing, they absorb the $7,500 federal tax credit, and they seem to be passing most of it now, maybe even more than before, because that's how they're getting to these lower payments like $325 and also $399 for the Tesla Model Y. If you're interested, you can zero both of these out just to see what the payment might actually look like. And on top of that, you can factor in the state taxes and fees depending on where you're at. So it seems like a Model Y rear-wheel drive in California with zero down 36-month lease is $590 a month. You can switch this to 24 months, which maybe I'll recommend, especially if you're waiting for the new and latest Model Y refresh, or of course, even maybe the Model 3 refresh, because we have no idea when this Model 3 refresh or Model Y refresh actually comes out, but one can speculate. If you need a vehicle now, you might as well do a 24-month lease if you can, because it kind of could make sense. Wait for all the dust to settle out, because those first Model 3 Highlines are going to be taking a while for the Model 3 refresh, and or might as well wait it out, because then once it all shakes out, then you'll be able to get into your Model 3 refresh, maybe a year or two from now. But I think I just found something. I don't know if you guys saw this on the screen, but I think I just saw something that piqued my interest a little bit more. So right now we're on the Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive. We've got the payment calculator set up for $4,500 down at a 36-month lease. Let's leave the taxes out of this for now, but it says $325 a month. But if I switch this to 24 months, do you see that payment almost went $100 down? Now it's at 24 months at $245 a month. Switching back to 36, it goes to $325. So did we just find a superb deal on a Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive, or is this a big glitch? I mean, now it kind of makes me want to think, because at $250 a month, most Teslas, especially if you're in the California area, basically pay for itself, because now that gas is hitting $6 to $7 a gallon, and if you're someone that drives 15 to 20,000 miles a year, then you're probably already spending $200 to $300 a month in gas. And if you can lease a Tesla for $200 to $300 a month, then you can kind of see where the wheels could be spinning here. But of course, this is $4,500 down. We can zero this out, maybe include some of the taxes, but 24-month lease at zero down at $500 a month for a 2023 Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive. And the kicker with this is just at surface or face value. This is not factoring in the Tesla referral credit, just like the one down below in the description for $250 off. And this is also not factoring an inventory discount, because we can't just buy any Tesla without in some sort of discount. We got to make sure we get some sort of discount. And now we can see some of these vehicles, some of these Model 3s, depending on kind of where they are, do have, there we go, $1,230 discount, which that can be a lot on a 2-year lease. I want to say that's like $20 a month, give or take, that's going to be affecting it. So we could be seeing a Model 3 for under $500 a month with zero down. I mean, that would be a pretty stellar deal, that's for sure. See, you can see when we do this for the Model Y, it does not have that same effect. So we're going to reset the clock here. You can see it says 36 month, $395. Switching it to 24 months, $358. I wonder if Tesla is incentivizing shorter term leases. This is very, very peculiar. I like the sound of this. I'm going to have to dive into this a little bit more, because a 2-year lease on a Model Y, let's make this into real world numbers and see what that could actually look like. Okay, 622, a little bit on the higher side, but there's not many vehicles that you can get in the real world zero down for $600 a month, especially if you finance a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y. It's going to be $700, $800, $900 for sure. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Let me know what your thoughts on leasing. Of course, the biggest drawback for leasing a Tesla is that you just pay the payments. It's literally a rental, because you cannot buy out the lease at the middle of the term. You cannot buy it out at the end of the term. It's literally a rental. You give it back to Tesla, and that is it. So that's the biggest drawback. A lot of people like leasing because it's a way to mitigate risk, and you can pay it down and then buy it out if you're done with it. But literally, leasing a Tesla is a rental. And so that's why I do recommend, for everybody that wants the latest Model 3 Highland, for everybody that wants the latest Model Y refresh, leasing is a good option, because you get into a vehicle now. If you need a vehicle, drive it for 2 years or 3 years, wait for the new greatest and hotness to come out, give it back to Tesla, and then get into a brand new one. So that's kind of my pitch on leasing. But of course, it could be seen as wasting money at the same time, especially because you don't really get any sort of equity pay down or anything like that to take advantage of it. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. We're going to jump into the live stream comments. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link to support the channel and get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there with all the best interest rates for financing your Tesla. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description. All right. Let's see what else we got. Terry, isn't a bad idea to lease a Tesla since there's no buyout option in the end. You're not getting the tax credit. Yes and yes. Tax credit gets passed to Tesla and then they pass some of it to you. That's how they're getting to these lower payments. So you kind of get a little bit of it. Mark, I think we get the $5,000 credit in Canada. Oh, nice. Could be related to interest rate expectation. Yeah, Tesla is for sure using some of the $7,500 federal tax credit that they're getting, maybe buying down the rate or even applying it to the reduction or whichever. Jigs won't let you lease if you grab a demo unit. I don't know about that. I think you can lease a demo unit. I mean, we could just check. Like, let's say we just pick out one of these. Make sure you got our Tesla referral code linked up so you get that $250. Oh, you are right. Interesting. Good call there. I learned something new today. So then you can't get that. That's cool. Thank you. Thank you. Terry, I've also read a lot of people on Reddit saying Tesla is super strict when you return your lease Tesla. That's actually the thing with any lease vehicle. Most manufacturers are pretty strict. They do lease inspections. They want to make sure that the tires are good, all that stuff is good, and they will bill you. But I do remember like a couple months ago, Tesla was offering incentives to people that are ending the leasing, like waiving their payments, waiving their bills at the end to try and get them into a new one. So it could be both scenarios depending on what you're gonna do. If you're gonna be ending the lease and that's it and walking away, then of course Tesla might not want to do anything for you. Vinay, people don't qualify for the tax rate can consider the leasing option to avail that in another way. Yeah, really great point. But thanks for jumping in, everybody. Thanks for supporting. Happy Wednesday, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.